happening, everybody? We are live yet again on another Sunday. You're here with the Gastlecast and also our good friend and pal, Christian Braun from PPG, Hobbydb. Hello, Christian.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing well, man. It's been a while. I was talking about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Was our channel the first time you'd ever gone live on YouTube with like a Funko-related channel?
Let me say yes.
Yeah, I feel like it was, because what happened, if you don't know what the backstory is out there, audience, and by the way, hello to everybody, we talked a lot of shit, and then Christian got wind of us talking shit, and then Christian came in and he wanted to clarify some things about PPG and Hobbydb at the time, because things were a little askew as far as, you know, the fan base didn't really understand it. And he came on with us and we discussed everything from top to bottom, and it was fantastic. And ever since then, Christian is now a YouTube hit and legend. He goes around to many other YouTube channels and he chats about Hobbydb and PPG, and you could tell very quickly that he has enthusiasm for it and a love. And that's why we loved, wanted to have him back at some point. It's been a long time, but I'm glad we finally got him back here. This is awesome, right? So if you're at your desk or table or your living room, right now it's the time to clap for Christian Braun. Just
You
to
really
have him back.
think that people are clapping?
People are going to clap.
By
Of course.
themselves?
Heather, if I'm telling them that they're going to be clapping, they're clapping. I know that for a fact. So Christian is here to talk about a multitude of things. We had questions about some things, and what sparked the idea to have Christian back, which we're going to get into a lot of things. Christian's going to share something new with us called Showcase. This is something brand new to Heather and I can't wait to hear a little bit more about that. And if you have questions, by the way, go ahead and shoot them off, and we'll try to get those questions asked and answered by Christian since he's here. There might be questions maybe he cannot answer, but maybe we can get answers at a later date if that's the case. But what sparked this initially was we were talking about whatnot auctions, if you remember. And we wondered, because our understanding, which we're not, super pros in whatnot auctions, folks were explaining to us that there are people out there who are buying Funko Pops for higher than PPG, higher than eBay prices on whatnot, mainly because they want to win, because it's a live auction and they want to win. So our biggest question, Christian, and I don't know, I'm kind of interested to see what kind of question or what kind of answer you're going to give us to this question. Will there ever be whatnot auction values in Hobbydb/PPG ever?
Okay, so let's talk about prices and why they're important. Price points to us need to be verifiable. What I mean by that, there are transactions on Craigslist and on Facebook and on Mercari and elsewhere. They're in-person transactions. What we really need is the ability to check that price. It can't just be reported by somebody. So we are adding, for example, pristine auction prices, because we can check them on their site. And they do a lot of autographed auctions, autographed pops, which is something that we've introduced new. We're going to do $7 a pop prices, because he's going to supply them to us.
Okay.
We've spoke to Mercari and we've spoke to Whatnot. Maybe they will come through with prices, but we need them to confirm what that price was. What we cannot have is somebody saying, I bought this item for $500 on Mercari, and that's it. We need that link. Every time you see an item on Hobbydb, a price point, some items have 1,000 price points, you can click on that, you can go there, and you can check yourself if this transaction happened or not. And we think that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, just quickly sharing my screen with you. One of the things that we've done is we created a lot of documentation. It's called the knowledge base. It's here. And for example, here it talks about types of price points.
Christian, hold on 1 second, because I need to share this screen here. So give me one moment.
Go ahead.
Because
please.
It's not capturing what I was hoping we would capture. So give me one moment. I'm going to have to see if I can get this. You're sharing this through through Skype, correct?
That's correct.
What is that noise?
I don't know. Christian, are you tapping something?
Nope.
Weird. There's like a tapping noise that's coming through, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's very strange. All right, let me see. What is? How can I?
We can see the screen that you're sharing,
Right. Oh,
but
this
they
is crazy.
can't.
Right.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So while you do that, I'll just briefly talk about it as well. The knowledge base is basically, it's about 250 pages of rules and how we do stuff. So that, I'm a great fan of telling you what we're doing and how we're doing it so that you can assess yourself. We are currently taking what we call the retail price. The retail price should always be the first price of a price chart. When the chart goes like this, the retail price, let's say, is $9.99 or $12.99. That's always the starting point. Then we've got, we can take in price guides, we can take in auction house prices, we can take in prices from eBay, from Hobbydb and PPG marketplaces, from Yahoo Japan. We can take StockX prices. We are starting to do trusted online stores like $7 a pop. And the future is to extend that. But it always has to have some kind of link versus just somebody reporting a transaction. In fact, we've added a price point where somebody put up a YouTube video of buying one of the Clockwork Orange Funko Pops on the SDCC event. And that's good enough for us. We want some kind of proof that the transaction did happen.
Sure.
And the reason why we need that is there is so much fraud going on. In fact, at one point of time, we've had three people that joined us to add price points to add items that they must have bundled, where they sold to each other. They sold to each other into the PPG database, hoping that the price would go up, and hoping that the price would go up. We caught them, start selling them. We caught two or three other people trying something similar. We have an internal audit team now. We have an internal audit team at prices that looks. And we can only do that. And we can only do that if there's some hard evidence of this transaction. Some hard evidence that this transaction.
Well, that makes sense because you want to have the most accurate database as possible, and getting all these very, I don't know, when I thought about the whole Whatnot thing, I wondered how you would ever track that. Like, it just almost seemed
Whatnot needs to tell us. Then that's Whatnot needs to tell us. Then that's fine. We have price points that go through a third party. So if you buy something on eBay or if you buy something on Amazon, you pay them and then they pay the seller. That's good. And then they pay the seller. Because if eBay tells us the transaction happened, it's more likely transaction happened. I mean, even there, sometimes people don't pay, not paying bidders, etc. Items get relisted, or take them out, get relisted. So we got to be really, really cautious here. But what we can't have is somebody saying, I sold this in a Facebook group, and here's a screenshot of my conversation.
Right.
Well, that can be anything.
Exactly. Absolutely. It could be doctored.
Yeah, I think of maybe documenting them, but not taking them into account for the actual estimated value calculation. Because those prices that go in there, they need to be bona fides. You have to be able to rely on them that they actually did happen.
Sure. Real quick, I do have your screen capture, so we're going to be able to pull that up here in a second. But I just want to tell everybody in the audience, thank you for being here. Go ahead and like the video. Or like this live, and make sure, if you haven't already, to head over to PPG, poppriceguide.com, and make yourself your own account over there, and you can check it out if you haven't already done so. A lot of people already have done that, but if you haven't, you should go and totally check that out. I do want to mention we're going to be giving a Sylvie away tonight. This is a glow-in-the-dark Sylvie, Walmart exclusive.
One of 5 that Chris ordered.
One of 5 that I ordered, but thankfully so, because you get to win one of these out there in the audience. We'll give this away at some point in time during this live, so stay tuned. This is a Gastlecast / PPG joint. Okay, it's a giveaway right there. We might give something else away as well. But I'll give it back to you, Christian. I'm going to bring up your screen. They're not going to see us. They're going to see your screen, okay?
So to show you there, here, for example, it says online sales that cannot be verified. And you can see there's Mercari and Facebook and Whatnot isn't there as well. So every time we get a question, we try to document it in here so the next person can check themselves.
Sure. That's perfect.
So if you ask a question and somebody else asks a question, particularly if it comes up twice, we'll put up some kind of guideline ruling in the knowledge base.
That's perfect.
And it's easy accessible. There's a little I button here. You can click on there and you get to the knowledge base.
That's great. You guys have given practically all the tools that you need to figure some of this stuff out,
That's the idea.
That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, okay. So we talked a little bit about the Macari thing. That was good. And we also talked about the whatnot thing, because those were the two biggest questions that we had. Vaulted Funko Pops. So this is something that's been coming up a lot lately. And I kind of just wanted your input, your thoughts, kind of just where's this data coming from? Because the app tells you that a pop has been vaulted, and then it turns up at a Hot Topic randomly. They restock them. And people are getting very agitated because, Joe somebody pays, $100 for a Funko Pop that dropped many moons ago, thinking it was going to be vaulted. This was his only option to get this Funko Pop, was to go out and buy it on the secondhand market. It says vaulted on the Funko app somewhere, only to find that it's dropping at Hot Topic. So it doesn't seem like that is always accurate, and it seems most times it's less accurate than it is accurate. So can you shed some light on that as far as how PPG is involved? Because I think a lot of people have this thought, and Heather and I both, that all of the data that PPG has, they're getting it from Funko directly and is being ported into the Funko app, because there's obviously, a Funko app / PPG thing at work here behind the scenes. So what's going on with this whole vaulted thing? What do you know and all that?
Let's unpackage that. There's two things. There's what we're doing with the Funko app. We'll talk about that in a second. And our views on vaulted. Vaulting used to be a very black and white thing. There used to be a blog post saying these following 6, 7, 8 Funko Pops get vaulted. And then you knew. You could still get them at maybe a Target if you were lucky, but you knew they were out of stock, and the implicit understanding is that they would never come back. I think that's broken a little bit, and I always think that's a bad idea. Sure. You get special stickers overseas coming out, or maybe new drops. I wish there would be a clear communication from Funko. We don't get that stuff from them. They used to have it on the website that was taken down. There were other websites that had that information. We have a release date and what do you call that? A date when they expire. If we can get it, we put it in the system. It's here. So this one was released on the 9th of December 2018. We don't have a vault date for that. If we can get it, we can add it in here. So no, we don't get that information from Funko, and I don't think they're publishers anymore. It used to be there. It used to be on their website, but it's gone. Okay, interesting. So that's that, because a lot of people are very frustrated about this, which I'm sure you already could. I have voiced it. We try to be the voice of the collector when we talk to Funko. We said that. I mean, there's two things that I don't like. One is, if you make a special edition for the San Diego Comic-Con or the New York Comic-Con or whatever, do new packaging. Don't just do a sticker. Those stickers you can buy on Etsy, on eBay, I think even on Amazon. You can't buy them with us, but you can buy them anywhere else. That's just bad. If somebody goes to the effort to stand in line for 4 hours and then gets his pop, right, and somebody else just buys that sticker and puts it on there, it makes it too easy. So that's one gripe I have, and the other gripe is be really super, super clear about what you vault. Tell us and then adhere to it, and never ever change around. I think that just needs to be a guarantee. If you're saying you're not producing this again, that's what I expect. Sure, absolutely, yeah, and I think all Funko Pop collectors expect that. At least that was, as you mentioned, there used to be a webpage that Funko ran themselves that told you about all these vaulted Funko Pops, and you could kind of go through all the lists, and that has since gone, and that is what I think is the most concerning thing. So there's a question in the comments. I actually have a couple questions directly from folks that are here. Thank you guys for asking questions, and keep them coming. A question just hit from Fast Mode 24 asking, is there an app coming for Hobbydb? And
I'm interested in knowing this because we talked about this during the last time we spoke with you. And I think the idea was there would be an app at some point. So where are we with that?
Okay. Let me explain just one contextual thing. And the easiest to do is by just showing it. So the difference between Pop Price Guide and Hobbydb is a very small one. You can see this is a PPG page, and that is the same page on Hobbydb. The only difference really is the homepage and what we call the context. So Hobbydb has any kind of collectible, and PPG has everything that's made by Funko. And then Funko customs are not included because the PPG community didn't want it. So those are really the only difference between the two of them. It's the same account. You can go back and forth. There's no difference there. It's the same information. It's just PPG has only Funko and Hobbydb has everything else. So if you like Funko only, that's your place. If you also collect, like you have a lot of stuff in the background, we got all of that. If you like, if you like, I don't know, Kid Robot or something else, then Hobbydb has all of those things. If you like Funko Customs, we have those on Hobbydb. So that's that. And now, sorry, I forgot my.
Oh no, that's okay. So I don't know if I.
Oh, the app. Sorry.
Yeah,
yes.
The app. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So we have an app. You can see down here there's an app and an iOS version and a Google version. And in our philosophy, we have a pretty small team. We can join my vision here. I want 100,000 volunteers, we call them squad members, building a database of every collectible ever made, and then also owning it. So we have 2,000 volunteers at the moment, and we have 1,100 shareholders, people that own part of the company.
Wow!
And I want 100,000 for each of those. That's kind of how we finance ourselves, and we have a small development team. So we've made a decision to build an app that does one thing and one thing only, which is it scans a barcode, and then it goes to the website. And the idea is if the website becomes so mobile friendly, you don't need an app. The only reason to have an app these days, because you're always online, is to have a really nice online experience. So we had the option of either building 2 apps, full-fledged apps, and a mobile website. But with a small team, that's hard. So we decided we built an app that's basically a barcode scanner. And then we built a really, really mobile-friendly website. We're not quite there yet. But that way we can concentrate on one thing and do it really well.
Sure. The
other thing that I'd like to introduce, which is not quite as relevant to Funko, but certainly relevant to many other areas of collecting, is image recognition. To me, the phone has the strong thing the phone has is a camera. So you can scan a barcode. That's fantastic. If you're a target, you can see how much it's worth. And what I want to do is I want to tell you that these 3 friends of yours don't have that item. So if you have it, you can still buy it and trade with them. That's, I think, where the phone is really strong. The other thing where it's really strong is image recognition. So I want to bring that in. We plan to do that this year. So you get a loose Dorbs, for example. You're not really super knowledgeable about them. You scan it in, it will tell you what it is, which sub-variation it is, et cetera, et cetera.
Excellent. Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing about Hobbydb is it literally has everything, and including our very own Ghastly. Our Ghastly is on Hobbydb. Thankfully, one of our friends, Craig Matthews, added him on there at some point. So that's amazing. And as Ghastlies continue to come out, they'll be added to the Hobbydb app. So you guys will be able to go and find it. And if you have Ghastly right now, head over to Hobbydb and jump on your account and add Ghastly on your collection list.
And then the nice thing is he will also be in your Pop Price Guide showcase if you want him to be there.
Excellent. That's awesome. So we have a couple of questions. Let's do a fun question, Christian. Somebody asked, "What is your favorite pop?"
Probably that guy there. The very large Boba Fett there that I have.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, that's a cool one.
I do like the large ones. I really want, I don't know how tall they are. I want like a man height one, but I haven't found one yet. I kind of like those. I collect space toys from the 30s to the 50s.
Really?
Yeah, like Rip Ripley, these children puzzles there, for example, or this is Wilma. She's Buck Rogers' partner in crime. I just like that period. I like that period because the pistols are fantastic, the costumes are great, and the world was very optimistic. I mean, you look at those spaceships. I mean, I don't even know how they fly, but they look fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really interesting. I did not know that about you. So do you have a lot in your collection?
That's the other thing. Nobody knows what's out there. I love to go and rummage around in a on a toy fair and find things that nobody really knows about. I mean, I love these things here. Let's see. These are children puzzles.
Oh, that's cool.
The artist is called Rip Ripley. Just look at these spaceships, how much fun they are.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That's awesome.
So I'm really into that kind of stuff because, I don't really know what's out there. And it's always exploratory. And I love the fact that I go to an antique shop and I'm asking and they're not even sure if they have something. It's really back to the old days of collecting where you just have to rummage around.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's fun. The hunt is always like the fun part about collecting, right?
Yes.
Heather and I don't do it as much as we used to. We used to love doing that. We're just too busy. We're behind this table too often, Christian. That's the problem. Somebody's asking, let's see, because I want to get into a couple of things that, we were going to talk about PPG this evening. But we do have a couple more questions. Is there any way to delete your collection and restart in PPG?
Yes, you can delete 50 items at a time, and if you want to delete everything, you can always send us if you go up to here to the information button, there's a little contact us button here on the left, on the right. Click that and say, hey, can you please delete my collection? We'll do it for you.
Oh. Show me one more time because I didn't have the window up properly. Go ahead and do that.
Okay, so there's a little information button that's our knowledge base.
Okay.
And that gets you here, and then there's always this little green button here on the right. You contact us. You can click that. So if you want to contact us, go to the knowledge base and click on the contact us button on the right.
Excellent. All right, very good. Cool.
Yeah, but I should say we get that quite often that people want to destroy their collection and start again. Fine, but you can also we brought in lists and we brought in the showcase to kind of help you managing your collection that way. So there's a lot of features that are new that you can use to do that. So basically, you can look at everything that's not in a list yet. You create 5 lists, Disney, Star Wars, something else. You put the items in there. That means you have them. And then there's 12 items left that you haven't found. You just delete those. You can do it that way because often people have sold part of the collection. They're not really sure what they have anymore. There's other ways of doing inventory versus brute force, which is deleting everything and adding it all back again.
So, let's start talking a little bit because I got more questions here. But let's start talking a little bit about Showcase. You wanted to discuss a little bit about Showcase. We don't know a whole lot about Showcase. So give us some information about that.
Yeah, so on Hobbydb, you've got your collection management, and to me that's like a museum software to manage your collection. This is where you can look at insuring your collection, where you can sell something, where you can change a condition, or you can have a location for something where you store it, and so on and so forth. But then, and that's really for you. This is the external view. And, this is basically you showing your collection to the world. And what you can do here is you can obviously have an avatar and you can have a banner. And this is where your top 10 lives and your collection valuation over time and all that kind of good stuff. But you can also, give it a name and then you can have these lists and they're relatively new. You can set the list of the day if you like. If you go into My Stuff, you can see there's list management here. And if I click on that, you can see you can have these lists here and there's something called the spotlight. And if you change that spotlight, that's where people will go to. So on Mondays, if you're a bat collector, on Mondays you may send them to Batman, on Tuesdays to Joker, and then to Robin.
That's cool.
So you can have these different sections here that you can build yourself, and you can mark items as private if you don't want to share them. You may have seen here we've got a new thing called Transfers In. This is for collectibles that you've ordered that you want to keep tab off to make sure that when they come in that you can match them against your collection. You know that they're out there, that you expect them, because I've spoken to so many people, they forgot what they've ordered and then they buy something again because it's still back ordered somewhere. So we've got that section, which you can also start using to give other people. There's more to that. So you can build your own set of lists here and then show them off in your showcase like this.
Interesting.
So this is, I mentioned the collection management here. That is, if you like, your museum software. That is for you to manage your collection and not really to show it to anybody else. It doesn't look great, but it's just meant to be efficient. This is the opposite of that. This is what you want to show. And what you can do here is you can use the sort and the search to then share it with other people. So you can say, you can share your Joker Chromes. Let's see. Are there more? Yeah. You can share a certain section of your showcase with somebody else. You just copy that URL, and they will see exactly what you're seeing now here.
That's awesome.
So it's useful for that kind of stuff. It's if you want to show your new purchases, you can do that. If you want to show a certain range that you have, you can do that.
That's cool. I like that feature, and there are folks here in the comment section saying exactly the same thing. They love Spotlight. They say it's an awesome feature, so that's cool. I like that. I like that you can change it for daily, right? So if one day you want to,
and there's more coming. I mean, one of the things I'm like, obviously this is now currently geared towards Batman, right? But maybe tomorrow I want to be the Joker. At the moment, I can't change his banner here, but we'll make that so that you can change the banner to go with the theme. The idea is really, this is harks back to the days of MySpace, where you could create your own little, your own website, basically. This could be your own website. You can just overlay URL, and then you can have your own website.
That's awesome. We do have a comment in the comment section here. It's Blessed Presh. They ask, I used the PayPal link to set up PayPal on my Hobbydb account and received an error message and can't clear it. How can I fix this? Would you just send them to the help?
Yes, contact us. We'll help you out with there. That could be something on the PayPal side, could be something on our site, but we get that every now and then. We normally be able to fix it. So just reach out to us. Click on the eye on the top right there, and send us a message.
Yeah. So if you guys see, you can actually see his page right now. You'll see the eye up there. It's on the top right-hand corner. Click that, and that'll get you to where you need to go, and you can find out all the answers that you need. There's another interesting thing about Hobbydb Ppg, that there's a group on Facebook where you have a lot of folks who kind of like, we're in it actually. We're in the group where it's a bunch of people who work on the Hobbydb/PPG page. And they're constantly trading information and trying to fix errors or kind of get a clear answer about what needs to be done on the page. I think that's great. And I wonder if you want to tell folks here maybe how they can join up and help the site, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is, and this has been long in the going. When I started Hobbydb, I wanted to build the native extension of Wikipedia. I just didn't like the fact that they don't have my stuff. This is a custom Lego bricks that my daughter made. I can't add that to Wikipedia, but you can add it on Hobbydb if you want to. So I wanted a site that has every collectible ever made. And initially, every member, we have 575,000 members, was able to do anything on the site. Turn out that not everybody's up to that. We got spammers, we got all kinds of issues. And we had to build some rules about it. We have too many items now in the system. So we built out the squad. And the squad has 5 different roles. Starts as a contributor, then creator, curator, champion, and coordinator. And this table down here, and that's on our knowledge base, will tell you exactly what they can do. So a contributor starts by helping us adding price points, retail prices, eBay price points, auction house prices, et cetera, et cetera. And then as they learn the system and as we get to know them, they move up. We have, extreme example, we got about 100,000 Hard Rock Cafe pins, pins you can put on, different ones. And there's about 120 squad members that just look after that section of the catalog.
Wow.
They have 2 coordinators, and the coordinator's role there is to work with those guys, and they every now and then come up with a feature request, something that they want us to do. For example, they want trading. So we'll bring in, hopefully later this year, trading, where you can trade items versus paying for them. It's a big thing, pin collecting. But I think Funko collectors would love it too, where you can say, here's my collection, here's the stuff that I'm willing to trade. And as you go on a page, so you go on this page of, this figure here, you can see at the moment, when I click through, 267 people have it, and 1,700 people have it on their wish list. There's currently none for sale by our members. Maybe some of these 267 people would be willing to trade. So there will be a new section called for trade. You can then click through, see what they have, say, I like this, and then send them a trade request. And then they can go and look at your showcase, see what you have for trade. And if they find something, they can reply saying, yeah, I would trade against those 3 figures, those 3 pops. And then you can trade.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, I think. I think, to me, that's kind of going back where collecting was. Remember when you were trading cards?
Yeah.
In school,
absolutely.
You trade. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone with the emergence of online trading and so forth. I'd like to bring some of that back. It also helps you because now there's all these tax thresholds, et cetera, et cetera. So this way you can trade and you don't have to worry about that.
So talking about trading cards, I want to talk to you a little bit about NFTs. We had an NFT question in the comment section, but real quick, we have another question. It's sort of a different question schema. Will the price guide have an option will to reflect the price of pops that are missing their box?
Yes. In fact, we already started with that. I'll show you very quickly. I have to go in something else and pops here. So you can see this is a Hot Wheels gift set. And you notice that there's 2 price points. This one here is not near mint. At the moment, the estimated value, which is that one here, and that's what we're giving to the Funko app since you asked earlier, we only use near mint to mint prices for that. But obviously, there's much more out there. Loose mint is probably the next step we would do, where we'd show you 2 price points. The near mint emboxed, near mint or better emboxed, and the near mint or better loose. Because for some people, that's relevant. And from there, we'll go on to expand. So we already start taking price points. This price point here is one that's not relevant at the moment, but it will be later when we show you more price points. So you will be able to check this set in mint boxed mint items all the way to poor items without any box.
Okay, so great, Christian. I appreciate that information. I'm sure everybody else does here as well. I'm trying to keep up with the questions as they come in. So
just on that, I mean, one of the problems, of course, is that some items are not really mint anymore. They're so hard to find in mint. To give you an example, let's just look. You can always sort here by, for example, highest price. There we go. So that guy here, the Clockwork Orange, right? There's only 12 of these. Now, how often do we get a price point for them, right? And then what happens if you get a price point for the Clockwork Orange? Let's say somebody sells this, but it's not mint anymore. It's good condition for $15,000. What do we do? So we want to take that price point because obviously our price point at $8,200 is not accurate then. I mean, and then here you can see, for example, there's a video of Cletus Selding buying that item from Fugitive Toys, and he photographed it, and that we take because it's not him saying it. We saw the transaction. We can see the video. We can check the Fugitive Toys. People can see it. So if a price point is two ways, if it's checkable, then we'd like to have it. And we are particularly keen on getting price points that are not necessarily full mint for items like this, because there are only 12 of them out there, and maybe only one sells every 2 years. So you need every single price point for those.
Interesting. I remember that Cletus Seldin buying that Funko Pop. I remember the video. Yeah, that's interesting.
And here it is. I mean, that's my point. If we can link to something that you can check, if you can watch it after the ad, that to me is a valid price point because it can be checked and somebody can say, hey, that's not true. That's why I want the ability to check if something is true or not.
Sure. Yeah, you got to confirm it. I mean, as I said before, you got to make sure that the database is accurate. Because if you let it go, run wild, it becomes the Old West, and nothing's accurate, and it's a big, gigantic mess, and then no one will want to use it anymore, right? Similar to what's happened sort of with the Funko app. A lot of people just do not like the Funko app because they don't feel like it has the most up-to-date information. It seems askew sometimes. So a lot of people turn and use their PPG instead. Actually, these days, I'm hearing more people are using PPG than the Funko app from the people that I talk to.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at the two of them, the Funko app looks slicker. I mean, they've spent a lot of money on it. It looks nice. And, I mean, for example, one of the things that people always want to have is the ability to add an item and restrict an item by click of a button.
Sure.
We have the ability to add an item with a button. That's the same thing. If you have this, you can just click on the plus collection button and then you got it. You can go in and add more details here, like where you bought it, how you store it, which location you have, how much you paid, any private notice, and so on and so forth. So that's better if that's what you care about. What you can't do is you can't remove it the same way. So we hear that quite often that people want to click that button again. But to me, you may have that item in mint and you may have it loose. That's very different. Therefore, we don't really know which one you want to remove. So the Funko app has a slick interface, but it has much less functionality.
Sure.
To me.
I completely agree with that because I used PPG recently.
And on that note, I wanted to show you. Sorry,
Sure. No, go ahead. That's okay.
I wanted to show you what we're doing with autographed items. So this is Clark Griswold. He's worth $31, and I found that over the last 2 years, maybe COVID related, autographs have just exploded. It used to be a thing you did at Comic Cons. Now there are signings all the time, and people really, really eager. And we have some people that have hundreds of these autographed pops now. You can see here's the autograph by Chevy Chase.
Oh yeah,
a figure. Worth $240. We got the $7 a pop special stickers as well because they are slightly different. They have edition size, etc., etc. Sure. But that is the same way as every else. You can see here this one has 19 price points. Here they are. Again, you can always check them. There's a pristine auction one. There's an eBay one. You can click on them and you can see them. And you notice that this thing is worth $240 versus $31. It's nice, right?
Yeah, it's nice to have a differentiator there for sure, to see the difference. We have a ton of questions, so let's try to nail some of these here. Okay, Sean Neal asks if they are going to facilitate trades. Are they going to check for scams, etc., or is it buyer beware?
It's buyer beware. So one of the beauties here is if you go to our marketplace, you can always check somebody out. So you can always click on their showcase, and you can see what kind of person they are. So this guy's been a member since 2019. He has 2,000 items in his collection. He has 1,000 for sale. You can look at his feedback and at his listings. My idea is always to give you as much information as possible. We may start doing something like in where you can see people that he knows that you know. I would always buy a $20 item from somebody. If they wanted to defraud me for $20, good luck to them. A $2,000 item, I'd be much more cautious, right? But I would be more comfortable with this guy because he's been a member since 2019. He actually has very good feedback. He has 2,000 items in his collection. He's not just here since yesterday evening. 18 people like him at the moment. So, there's something to him. That is my take on that. Give you as much information as possible and then let you make a decision.
There you go. And that's the way it should be. It is questionable. He likes Heineken, apparently, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I trust this guy. So we have another question, and this is in regard to NFTs. Before you were talking about trading cards. NFTs, I basically, in my opinion, I talked about this during our Patreon live last night, that NFTs to me are the future of trading cards, right? Funko has changed that up a little bit by having the possibility of having a physical item that comes along with it. But for the most part, the Funko NFTs are trading cards, or digital trading cards. So somebody's asking, are you planning on adding the redeemable Funko NFT Pops to the app anytime soon? Also,
they're there. We have those.
Okay, so they're there. Also, do you guys provide release dates on Pops that are coming soon?
Yes. So if you go to the database, you can just click on newest release date. So let's do that. Now you see everything. You obviously don't want that. So in PPG, you don't have to do that, but here you can add Funko. So you can filter for Funko. And now that shows you new Funko stuff coming out. December 2020. December 2020, Heisi Sasaki. So you can sort them. You can always use our search, our filters, and our sorts. So sort, you can sort by rating, by owned by the most people, least people, highest reference number, but also release day, and that's what you want to do here.
So NFTs, because NFTs is becoming a bigger part of the collectible world, if people like it or not, will PPG / Hobbydb, whomever, will you be tracking these NFTs at all?
We've talked. We generally there's a PPG community. It has about 8,000 members on Facebook. So we often ask questions. Do you want this? Do you want that? I mean, for example, we ask if people wanted autographed items on PPG, and they said yes. And we asked them if they wanted customs, and they said no. So no customs. They're on HobbyDB. They're not on PPG, but prototypes. We've asked about NFTs as well, and it was a mixed reaction so far. So we're on the line on that one at the moment.
Okay, well, that's going to be interesting because we watch the sales through. There's an app, I can't remember what it's called for NFTs, Atomic Marketplace, I think it is, and it seems like the prices on these NFTs change almost by the minute. I don't even know how the hell you guys would track this stuff. It would be insane, I think.
Yes, well, because you're two factors, right? You got the factor of the value of the actual item, the digital collectible, and then you got the issue of what does Ethereum do at the moment, or Bitcoin.
Sure.
So you got two moving targets there in a way. I mean, to me, the Hot Wheels done the same thing. They've done some NFTs. To me, that's a lottery. You buy the NFT because you really want because you want to experiment and you want to find out if you like this. But B, you really want that exclusive that comes with it. That's why I'm thinking of it a little bit as a lottery. Let's see if it works when they just sell the NFTs on their own without any physical product.
Absolutely. Heather, I'm going to step off for a second and use the restroom. Can you ask some of these questions that are up here on the board?
Wow, you're going to let me talk?
I want you to talk for a moment. I think that you need to have some time. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, now you're with me, Christian. I don't know if you're in good hands or not, but we'll chat.
Let's find out.
Okay. So, Eric Hooker was wondering if the new, well, it's not new, the Anti-Venom Pop and T-shirt bundle that was originally at Box Lunch that was re-released with the special edition sticker, that has two listings, one being for the Box Lunch sticker and one being for the special edition sticker. How how are you tracking that? And was it added as a joke, or is it going to be tracked?
No, we do hundreds of sticker I mean, we have thousands of sticker variations.
I thought so.
Some of them are very meaningful, some are less so. I mean, let's just go back to the guy I looked at earlier, because I know he has some. Red Funko, Batman, Chrome. So if you look at this guy, you can see we have the concept of variants. Variants are clearly different. These guys are all clearly different. And then sub-variants is where that's less so. So, for example, here you got the Summer Convention and the SCCC special sticker. A special sticker is no different to one of these. It may not have the same kind of price difference than those guys do. But when prices get assigned, they get assigned to their sticker variation. And it looks like special stickers come out earlier, initially more valuable, and then they drop in price. And that's something that I'm keen to start exploring, where we can say, okay, show us every special sticker over the last 2 years and its performance over a Hot Topic sticker, say, and see if it makes a difference.
Okay.
But that is something that we've been asked for. I mean, it really started with, let me see if I can find that. Initially, PPG was only doing, Comic-Con specials and otherwise wouldn't really look at the packaging. And then the Black Star Wars packaging came out, and I need to look if I can find that guy. Where is he? I can never find anything. They made so many Boba Fett's.
Yeah, they can't stop with Boba Fett.
Yeah, so this guy here, has 6 sub-variations, right? We plan to move the autographed out. You can see there's autographed by Dickie Bear and Jeremy Bullock. But what I'm looking for here is this one. This is the larger font, one language version. Those are the first ones that came out. You can see that's worth $115. And this is the second version, the smaller font, multilingual. It's basically when I started selling to Canada and Mexico. And you can see that's $23. And there's a smaller font, multilingual 3 plus H logo, $42. And then the black one, $20. So you can see that kind of makes sense. The older they are, the more valuable they are. But it's these ones here that really over the last year have seen a price increase where people say, hey, these are the earliest ones. These are the rarest. And people trying to complete their Star Wars collection with those packaging.
This is truly what makes PPG better, a million times better than the Funko app, because you're able to track all the different variations of the Funko Pops that are in your collection, something that the Funko app is unable to do. So if you go on the Funko app and there's been 3 different releases of a Funko Pop like Boba Fett, you're looking at one price, and that one price may not be accurate per the figure that you actually own. So highly recommend, if you guys haven't gotten over to PPG yet, which I'm sure you already have, but if you have not, you totally need to go and create a new account pronto. There's a question here that made me laugh, and we're going to get to some other questions I have here as well that were sent to us, I think, via a video. Some people commented and wanted us to ask you questions. DH asks, does Christian have a Ghastly? Question mark. Does he consider them a good investment? Question mark. Christian, I don't know what kind of answer you can give to that, but I would hope that you would say it's a good investment.
Do I have what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Do you have a Ghastly?
I know the answer to that is no.
The answer to that is no. And do you consider them a good investment?
Well, generally the early stuff, I mean, you just saw it here. You want to get in early, right? I mean, that larger font, one language one is a good one. That's the thing you should have bought 2 years ago, when nobody really cared about those differences.
That's right.
So yeah, I think the early Ghastlies, what it depends on you guys, and Chris and Heather, really. I mean, are you going to make them limited? Are you going to go all money out and just do thousands of them and then remainder them? That's kind of any collectible brand. That's always the key thing. Now, how do you sell? And I mean, you may make income, right? But you need to be cautious about it and not sell too many. It's the same thing. We do a lot of autographed pops with our partners now. We just done one with monthly pops, And we always say, hey, leave something on the table. If you think you can sell 50, come up with 30. Make it something that people aspire to, and it's also part of the chase, right? I mean, if you can always buy everything, there's no fun.
Absolutely.
So, depends on you guys. I mean, how many of those are you going to make? Are you going to make 10,000 of the next one, or is it going to be limited?
20,000.
Are you sticking with your vaulting dates?
Yes, we are. Yes, we're sticking with vaulting dates, but we're going to be limited. But we will, of course, have the common Ghastly that will be available to folks at any point in time, and we're waiting for more of those to come in. But yes, everything that we do will be limited, and we like the limited aspect and all that. And I will say that the very first figure, we were really super surprised. We sold 300 of them. 200 were a special variation, and then 100 were strictly a common. We sold out of the special variation in how long? Was it under a minute?
Yes.
We sold out of them under a minute. So
that's amazing.
To us,
that's how it should be, right?
Exactly. To us, it felt really good because people were, they were accepting our figure into their home, our little character. So it made a big deal. It was a big deal to us.
Well, yeah, he is. Let's see. Oh, come on. What happens? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many people listed that they have him in their collection. I wonder.
I think like 12 or 14.
There's a standard, and there's the one autograph.
There it is. Look at that. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So 5 people have that guy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to add him to my wish list.
Ah, yes.
Oh, and this is a new thing as well. I'm going to rate it. You can rate things now. And one of our plans is to, once we get enough ratings in there, there's already a few 10,000 ratings. Eventually we'll be able to say, hey, people that like this also like that.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
It's going to be interesting because then we can show you stuff that you may not know, that maybe not Funko, that you wouldn't see otherwise. And we can show you, hey, these new products came out. Do you like that? Would you like that?
That's a cool feature, and I'll tell you why. Years ago, and this takes me back to the early 2000s, when this is before streaming music and everything, I would go on Amazon and I would look up my favorite artist. And if you scroll down, I think they still might do this, but it'll tell you other artists that you might be interested in. And I would buy my CDs that way, and I would buy other bands that maybe I'd never heard of before. And it opened the doors to all these other new artists that I really happen to like. And that's what you're doing. You're basically saying, hey, if you like this, you might like that. And I think that's brilliant. That's a great feature.
Thanks.
So we do have a couple questions that came over email, as I mentioned. Okay, so it's a long question. I know they have a G.I. Joe and Marvel Legends on Hobbydb, but when are they going to add values? It's one thing to already know what you collect, and then there's another to know what it's worth. In other words, what's the point of having it on Hobbydb if there's no values attached to it?
Okay, let's unpack that. There's a few things here, right? So first of all, we have values, and then secondly, anybody is welcome to join us and help with that. So you can see here, this one has an estimated value. That one has an estimated value. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a 14th of February price for that item. I don't know how new it is. I don't really know that series, but we do have values. There are so far, I think, 150,000 items on Hobbydb that have a value. And we constantly add to that. So, when somebody asks me a question, I say, well, why don't you join us and help with it? Because we do our prices by hand. And the reason why we do that is you just can't do it automated. You saw those Boba Fett figures.
Yes.
No bot will be able to separate that one line versus the 3-line blue package, or find out who autographed an item. Really look at the condition. That's just something that needs a human eye. So that's why I want 100,000 volunteers that own the company. So I always say to people, look, join us and see if you like it.
Yeah, and the way that they can do that, we talked about that a little bit before. I know that there's the Facebook group, which is great because a lot of people are able to interact with each other. That's awesome. But if you wouldn't mind, again, Christian, just showing them where the page is.
Yeah,
they can
sure.
go find
So
it if they
you
want to
click
join
that
up.
little I button up here. That goes to the help page. And where do I have it? I need to close some of these too many screens. Oh, no, I closed Ghastly. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Sorry. Where is that help page? Oh, we looked at a lot of stuff.
We've been all over the place.
No, that's our management tool. Sorry, 1 second. On the help section, which is, of course, here it is. We just looked at it. There's always this green button here on the side, same with the mobile phone, that you can click. So basically, go to Pop Price Guide or Hobbydb, click on the little eye icon here, and that gets you to this page, and then you can click on the Contact Us button and contact us.
There you go. So if you want to help out and you want to learn a little bit more about PPG and you want to be a part of the team, that's where you go, and you can do that yourself and better the site. Make it better for you, the user.
Oh, and on that note, since you always ask, there's a page here called New Features to Come. So this is everything that we want to build. Every time I speak to somebody and they have a good idea, it goes on here. So this is all the stuff that we're trying to build.
Amazing. Look at that list. Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. Okay, so here's another question. This is all right. So it doesn't start off good, Christian. I just want to tell you that right now. It says PPG isn't that user friendly. It sometimes takes me a few tries to find what I'm looking for. The scanner is fabulous, but if I have to type in the info, it usually takes a few tries. Is it just me? And if not, what is PPG going to do about it?
Okay, that doesn't give me enough information. But I can tell you that we've got. I mean, I just looked earlier for the Boba Fett, right? And I think last time I counted, there are 400 Funko products that have Boba Fett in them. So stuff you can do is, if you go in the search here and you type Boba Fett in, you can say minus Dorbs, for example. So you can use Boolean commands to make your search easier. If you don't want to see the sodas, you can just add on minus soda. So you can do that. You can sort by many different ways. You can use all of these filters. So if I know that something was done in 2014 to say 2018, I can do that. We just have a huge number of tools that the more data there is, the more useful those become. So just use some of those. That's all I can really say on that.
Yeah, sure.
We do have what we call alternative keywords. So, for example, VW finds Volkswagen and Volkswagen finds VW. So we can add to that if there's a common spelling mistake people make. But there's just a ton of data out there. So you use the tools that we have: the filters, the sort, the search.
Yeah, I think. The thing about PPG Hobbydb is that I think folks go on there and they might get a little overwhelmed at first. And rightfully so. There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack when you're using the site. But if you use it a few times, you'll learn it pretty quickly. You just have to go there, make the account, and start to learn how to use it. And for me, in fact, recently, I made an entire new account specifically for my $7 a pop sales, because I basically have a big chunk of my collection I want to get rid of. So I've been breaking it down, sending it to them so they can give me a price on what they're going to give me for this chunk of my collection. And it came in really, really handy. I mean, that's specifically what $7 a pop uses, is PPG. Yes. They ask you to send your PPG to them so they can give you an estimated price. It's fantastic. So the best thing I can tell you as a user, not as a person who runs the thing, just keep using it. You'll learn this thing. It's awesome. It's really great once you understand the tool.
On that note, we get asked so often. So what we're going to do is you'll be able to sell your whole collection as one lot going forward. What we plan to do is, let's say you have 500 pops you want to sell. If they are added in Hobbydb or PPG, and you tell us that you want to sell them, we will ship it to 5 or 6 people like Lee from $7 a pop, and saying, hey, here's a collection. How much are you offering for that? And for them, the beauty is not only do they see everything, they can look through, they can match with what they have, they can say, okay, for this collection, I'll give you 56%, which is pretty good. I'll give you 56%, and maybe somebody else has 58%, and you can sell it to that person. We're going to do it as an escrow function. So the seller will send us the money, we tell the buyer to ship the stuff, and then we sell the buyer. And that's the best way of selling a collection, unless you want to sell them individually.
Sure. Yeah, well, so it just so happens that we live right around the corner from them, so we just drive our stuff over there. Everything works out pretty good for us.
Lee's lovely. He's
So
a
do we.
shareholder. He's going to give us his prices. He's always a great sounding board. He's a squad member. He helps a lot. He's great.
He's a great guy. Him, and he's a good friend of ours, and so is Jason from $7 Both good buddies of ours.
Yeah, they're nice.
They are
I really
great,
like those
great
guys.
people. Beastie Wolf asks a very interesting question. Not so much interesting, but something that we have been wondering for quite some time. Is there any way to fix the estimated value of the Mariotti and Becker Autograph Fun Days 2-pack? It's estimated as $390 right now on the Funko app. And I think that it might be that way on PPG. I don't know what's going on with it, but it shows that it's worth $390 right now on the Funko app. And I know that PPG translates that and sends that data over.
Okay, so let's look at an item that has a lot of price points. I always go back to that red Funko Batman Chrome. Where is he? Batman Chrome. Because I know he has a lot of price points. That guy. The estimated value, which is this price here, it will tell you when it was last calculated. So this was last calculated on the 10th of March at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. We calculate those every 12 hours. If there's a new price point, then you can see here what these price points are, and you can see here the price points down here. You see the little flag?
Yes.
You can flag every price point. You can say, hey, this price point, there's something wrong with it. And then we look at it. And if we look at it and we confirm it, it will show that there will be a little note that it was confirmed and when. So, I always encourage people, hey, if there's something wrong, tell us. I mean, these are done by humans and they make mistakes. So if there is a mistake, it gets caught.
Yeah, because the issue is that the Mariotti and Becker 2-pack, apparently one sold on eBay for, it must have been $390. But most of us, like Heather and I, we have the 2-pack that's not autographed. So now every one of them shows up as $390 because it thinks it's the autographed version.
Oh, that's easy. Then we just have to strip that. That should be a subvariant. Autograph should be different to the non-autograph. Like we just looked at Chevy Chase, right? I mean, there was a $240 to $30 difference when we looked at them. Right. So very easy. Go there, flag the transaction. We try to handle it as quickly as possible. Like in fact, it goes to a volunteer. Somebody who's knowledgeable in that area. This is kind of curator and above stuff, and then they will make a decision. And if needed, it sounds to me like we need to split that into signed and not signed, and then assign that price point to the not signed to the signed one, and that's going to be worth $250, and the other one is going to be worth whatever it's worth.
So here's a question, and you might have already explained this in some capacity, but I'm going to ask again for my own knowledge. So
just time out. Let's
sure.
Somebody flag that item so we can fix that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tell Beastly to fix to flag it.
Beastly Wolf, please flag that, please. Beastly Wolf. So how can I ask this question and make sense out of it? So I'm thinking about PPG and the Funko app, and say, like in this case, here's what happened. The signed Mariotti and Becker sold on eBay for $380, $390, whatever it might be. It sold, and it shows that on PPG, and somehow that connection to the Funko app, it made it over the signed version, that cost or the value made it over to the Funko app. How could that be? So in other words, how is it that we're getting this autograph value over on the Funko app? Shouldn't it be?
Let's look at it now. So what is Mariotti?
Yeah, Mariotti and Becker.
Becker. Did I spell that right? Is he with two T's?
Let's see. How do you spell Mariotti?
I think it's
there you go. You found it. Yep, there it is.
Okay. All right. So we got three subvariants. And okay, well, it's already been solved. Look, I mean, this one here, this is the unsigned version, $16. That is the signed version. Now I know what happened. This is a signed version called $390, and this is a signed Funko charity auction item, which is a one-off, and it's $770, and it tells you why. So we have correct data. Every item has a Hobbydb ID, and technically the way it works is it's called an API. So Funko says, give us every night, they're saying, give us the price point for this item. And then we give it to them. When we started talking to them, we said, look, there are Comic-Con specials and there's things that are different. So if you don't have them, well, then we can't give you the price for it. So what must have happened here is they're asking for the price for the signed version, but they don't have the signed version. They just have the unsigned version. So
the Funko
they
app
show this price, but that's really with Funko. I mean, you got to talk to them about that, because all we do is saying, here's all our prices, you grab them. And
I see. Okay.
when you click on the item, you can see down here there is the Hobbydb ID. Where is it? Under reference number. There's a UPC for the barcode scanner. There's a manufacturer ID, which is a code that Funko uses, and there's a Hobbydb ID, which is our specific unique number. Because even UPCs, Funko shares. Sometimes you get the same item that has 2 UPCs, and sometimes you got 6 different items that use the same UPC. So the Hobbydb ID is the only thing that's totally unique, and that's what they're asking for. So they must be asking for that one, and they get this price versus the price that they should ask for, which is the common, the unsigned version, which is this one, and that's worth $16.
So how does one work with Funko to get that fixed? So are we as the users of the Funko app able to reach out to them and say, hey, here's an issue here? Or like how does this
sorry, I don't know. I mean, that's a question
Okay.
to them.
Okay.
With us, I told you how to do it.
Sure.
With them, that's kind of in their court. I can take it up with them and the specific item. But that's really for them to fix. I mean, the way to fix it is to have all the data. So,
Yeah, obviously something's wrong, right? So, and there's a lot of people. This has actually become a running joke now. Is look at this, look at this 2-pack worth $390. Why? And then we started to realize that it's because it was an autographed version. And I'm pretty sure we figured that out by looking at PPG. It just didn't make any sense. It's the You've explained it. The translation between PPG and the Funko app is something I've always wondered. How does that happen? And you're talking about these codes.
Yeah, that's
that are
it.
shared, right?
It's automatically they pull the data from us. We give them all the data. We have 27,000 Funko items now. I think the app has 13 or 14,000. So they pull 14,000 prices.
Interesting.
Here, I mean, they don't want to do autographed items. But if you take a 2013 San Diego Comic-Con special, they probably take the common price or the vice versa, right? They take one of the two.
Right. So we do have, I have a couple questions here. I'm going to hit you with a couple. So first comes from our friend, Brian Barrick. He's one of the mods here for the Gastlecast channel. Thank you, Brian, for asking a question. By the way, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe if you have not. Also, head over to Instagram and follow PPG there. Is it Hobbydb or PPG on Instagram?
We have both.
Both. Yeah, so go and follow them and keep up with what they're up to. That's probably the best way to keep up with them. Brian Barrick asks, have you ever considered a function that would potentially flag price manipulation of a pop? For example, a sale is trending at 30, then jumps to 100 on a few new sales.
Oh yeah, of course So over the years, every time there's money to be made, there's people that take advantage. They may be based in China, they may be based here, but there's always somebody who wants to make a quick buck. So we had to, and it's a constant fight. We last year instrumentalized an audit group, and they're called the Untouchables. And other people don't know who they are. There's 5 users, 6 now, that are just really that we know very, very well, that have been there for a long time, that know Funko very well, and they check out our new volunteers, because we've had volunteers that came in with the only intent to manipulate prices.
Oh no!
So what they do is they go. The most sophisticated so far was 3 people, that maybe more, but at least 3, that sold each other. So they bought a pop that was worth $30. And then they started, and they had also patience. They were starting to sell it to each other for 50, and then 60, and then 80, and then 100. The price kept going up. And then they joined the squad to make sure those price points are in. Because that's really what they needed. They needed a feedback loop, because they must have stocked 50 or 60 of these to then sell them. They must have bought them for 10 and now wanted to sell them 100. So we found out, we kicked them out, and we kicked out the prices because they didn't really happen. So, and you can't really have an algorithm for that. You can flag a price that goes up, but we had, when Bruce Bader died, the price of that pop came down overnight, or the guy that played in Wakanda. You have those moves, and sometimes they make sense, and sometimes they're manipulation. We look at all of those, and we normally use human intelligence, because AI is just not good enough. Certainly the AI we could afford, or Funko could afford.
Sure. There's another question here. Ask Christian how condition affects value. Do they just use mint condition for sales? I think we talked a little bit about this already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Also,
we use near mint.
Okay.
And with the only exception, we had a lot of debates about that. That's actually in the Facebook group that you mentioned, which is for squad members. Let's say there's an item that's worth $300 on our site, and we haven't seen a transaction for a year. It's a short run. Let's say they made 50 of them. There was just nothing that happened. And now that item gets sold for $800 in good condition, so not near mint. We would normally not take that. But here it makes sense to take it, because obviously, we had 500. This item's rare, sold for 800, kind of makes sense, but we couldn't use it because it's not near mint. So we had a lot of debates about that, but it kind of makes sense to do that. We are adding some information that explains that. So those are the only instances when we use a not near mint price at the moment, when there's so little data that price point is valuable, important.
Johnny on the spot asks, with a monopoly over the pricing of the entire Funko collectible market, what can you do to help, help add diversity to the pricing used for the market? Okay, so we talked about it briefly earlier. We now have the retail price, which is the first starting point. We have user estimated value for items that are rare, like prototypes where we just don't have price points otherwise. We have eBay pricing, we have StockX pricing, we have our own marketplace. We can now bring in auction houses. We're going to bring in pristine auctions. If you collect autographed pops, you'll know them. We are bringing in Lee stuff, so $7 a pop, their pricing. Anywhere where we feel there's trust and we can verify the information we want to have. I've just emailed Mercari yesterday because I haven't heard back from them yet. We've asked Whatnot a number of times. If they can give us a pricing, we'll take it. But we want to make sure they can be checked. Sure.
Can't tell you how many emails we got. Somebody says, I bought this item privately. I paid $400 for it. Well, we can't use that.
Sure.
We don't know who you are. We don't know if that's true or not. Maybe you just want to sell it next week, right? So we can't use that pricing.
Right. Yeah, because that would totally screw up the market. So Nick Money asks, I don't know if you could even answer this. How many eBay sellers are banned from how many eBay sellers are banned from recorded sales?
Okay, let's see. I can tell you that. You can tell yourself because we have that on the help. We document who we don't like. In general, we like to document everything. I always think it's best to show you. Here's the list: eBay sellers that we block. Wow. So it's not numbered. I think it's 150 last time I looked at.
So these would be people who are, who you believe are doing fake sales, selling to themselves, selling to a friend for inflated pricing.
Or they sell fakes. Yes. I mean, here's what happens, Heather. Somebody says, cool custom figures, sells fakes. That's why we have our bad apple here. That goes to that group of 6 people that I mentioned earlier. Maybe there's 7 now. And we're saying, hey, here's the story. And they look at it and they love that. They like the detectives. They go out and look at these and look at the feedback. And then, eBay gives you those numbers and asterisks because they don't really tell you who they are. They just do all this work and then saying, yep. And then we have a vote. And if it's a clear vote, then they go on the list. If it's not a clear vote, we check it a little bit longer and see. But once they're in here, we don't want their prices anymore.
Nice.
That's a good way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
So,
cool.
and they can reach out to us. It's here, it's public, right? I mean, if Deep Discount thinks this is a lot of shit, he can talk to us and make his case. That's kind of our mantra. Always put everything out there so you can see it, you can check it, and you can have your own. If you think fanboy collectibles is okay, well, no, then.
Right, good checks and balances there.
Chris, you got to go on there and look to see if the Gastlecast is on there.
We might be on there. I don't know.
It's sorted by alphabet. So F, go figure, global, give. No, you're good.
We're good to go. Thank God. So Blessed Presh, we have a couple questions that have come in. Blessed Presh is asking, why is it that some of the pops scanned in the app give 0 results? And then to add on to that question, how long does it take for a pop to be added to the site?
Okay, so this is something we're discussing with Funko every day, saying, hey, give us your list, and they send it to us every 2 weeks. It gets added as soon as one of the squad member adds it, basically. Squad members are collectors themselves, so often they add it because they buy it or they want it. When we get the list from Funko, we'll add them too. We don't always necessarily get the UPCs, so those get added when we have them. Easiest, is join the squad, and then you can add it yourself.
Yeah, if you're interested in joining Hobbydb and inputting pricing, how would somebody go about doing that?
So, as said earlier, there's a little eye on every page, and that gets you to the knowledge base, which is this one here. And there on the side, you got a little green button here. I mean, there's also a whole section. So if you want to read about the squad, then you can do that here too. Why don't I find that with? Help improve. It's called Help Improve Hobbydb, and it explains every position in here and how it works. There's the squad Facebook group explained. So it shows you who's doing what, and you can always, if you like it, you can always try it. Just reach out to us saying, "Hey, my name's Tom. Here's my member name. Let me know." Do not get in touch if you don't have a showcase, if you don't have anything. We reject people that we don't know anything about.
Okay.
Well, I think that's a good best practice as well.
Unless they tell us somebody that we know.
Sure.
It's okay to join you if you say, hey, I know Heather, and then we can check with you, and you saying that guy is okay. We want to know who these people are.
Oh,
Sure.
you better check with me because there's so many people. Somebody did it today. Somebody said, I know Heather and Chris. And I was like, no, you don't. I don't know who you are.
Right.
Not to PPG, but in general.
So I'm going to ask a question here, and if we start doubling up on the same questions over and over, I apologize. We're just getting so many that are coming through. Aussie Pop and Paul is asking, Whatnot seems to have skewed prices. Things go for more than other sites often. How would you take this into account if you could get sales from Whatnot?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, like StockX is the same thing. I noticed that one of the things I'm keen on is to show you more stats. Like we looked at Boba Fett. There's 300 Boba Fetts. I'd like to give you the ability to, like, every Boba Fett Funko ever made over time, how they changed versus every Luke Skywalker or something. I think that would be cool and fun. You could do the same with show me every price point from Pristine Auction and Hobbydb and StockX or whatnot if we ever get those price points. So there's definitely channels that have different pricing. I think Mackay was a little more money for a while. I think that has changed. I mean, you guys know better than me, but that's kind of the view I get from here. Whatnot, a little bit because of that auction environment, that will change as well. You guys remember when everybody did waffles?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get these trends when there's something new and sexy and hot and fun and people go crazy on it. I think that will change again. And yes, I'd love to show that. I'd love to show, like, here over the last 1,000 pops that were made, here's your eBay pricing and here's your whatnot pricing. That would be interesting. Maybe you get a 6% premium at this point of time versus a 9% 3 months ago and probably a 2% going forward. I also love to start doing predictions. We're looking at how can we use the data we have to start making predictions. Maybe a window.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that idea. Blessed Presh asks, this is an interesting question. We haven't gotten this one tonight. How much do I need to invest to become a significant shareholder?
Well, first of all, my mission is to document every collectible ever made. And you may have seen on our website, we have our claim. It's down here, over 100 billion collectibles eventually. So it will take a while. For that, we need, we think we're the natural extension of Wikipedia. We start where they stop. We have a page on Funko. We have so far 27,000 items, Funko items. So I wanted to make it that everybody can own part of it. At this point of time, you can buy 114 shares for $100. Obviously, you can invest more if you'd like to. And if you do, we'll do more stuff. I'd like to bring in a third developer and do more things earlier, improve our mobile experience, bring in image recognition, do trading earlier. I think trading is going to be awesome. It's all explained on wefunder.com. It also shows you how many shares are outstanding. And if significance is 1% for you, then you can calculate what that is. You can also reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.
There you go. Blessed Presh, there's your answer. Reach out directly to Christian Braun. He can lead you in the right direction. Chef Boy asks, how does PPG think, or I guess what does PPG think about custom art pops, like from artist Mike Lashima, I think it's pronounced, and Kyle Roberts?
Okay. I love the creativeness. So, we had a discussion. We have a list here on Hobbydb. It's called Pop Customs. And here they are. And I think some of them are amazing. Is this one of the guys? Some of them have unknown customizers. Some have the customer. We want to document every single thing ever made. So cool. I don't know about that particular customizer, but here's a typical page. So this is I can't pronounce that. Kickstradamus? Customs?
Kickstradamus is what it looks like to me.
Okay, so here's his stuff, right? And it's fun. You can see this is his Annabelle. There's the prototype. That's the Funko version. That's his version. So yes, we want to document all of those, and we've got the tools for it. We don't show them on PPG because we had a vote on that. And again, you can look at the help if you go to our help page. Can't find it again. Where did I leave it? Sorry.
That's what happens when you have a million tabs open. That's
I know it's not there at all anymore. So the PPG community didn't want the customs because I think they were worried about them creating problems with. Here they are. So there's I kind of like the Batman Carl here. PPG had a vote on it. They didn't want it, so they're on Hobbydb. But you can add them on Hobbydb, and then you can show them in your PPG showcase if you like.
Excellent. Well, there's your answer.
This is kind of fun stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah. It's cool that you can add all these different things to your collectible lists. I think that's interesting. There's no other place that you can do things like this. Johnny on the spot asks, if you sold an entire collection via Hobbydb escrow function, how would you factor in the wholesale price the items were sold for compared to other price points?
Oh, we wouldn't. As soon as as two items get sold together, how would you separate them? So a lot just doesn't feature into our pricing because we can't do it. And neither do you want to, right? I mean, if you sell a collection, you're not going to make full value.
Sure.
It's not possible. I mean, I think Lee's one of the best paying people in the industry, and he pays. Depends if you have a small number of really high pops, you get maybe 60%. If you have loads of $10 pops, you may get 50%. I mean, that kind of range. But that's good, I think.
Yeah, he's super fair. Lee is super fair.
Yeah, but I mean, we wouldn't want to use that price, right? Because it wouldn't make any sense.
Sure. Absolutely. No, I agree with
So
that.
no, we couldn't really use that. Anytime an item gets sold as a lot, we will not use that price.
Okay, so you got a bunch of people here. We're what, 104 right now that are currently watching. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us. We are going to do a giveaway for a Sylvie glow in the dark from Walmart. We're going to do a giveaway on that, and I think we'll just do a random number. Does that sound good to you? We'll do a random number and we'll select the winner.
You can't say that because they're going to start typing random numbers.
No, don't start typing random numbers, please. Don't do it. Make sure you. I'm sorry, what's that?
Can you write down the number that you?
I can't. I have nothing. If you wouldn't mind grabbing something.
You have your phone.
Oh, sure. So if you guys would make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video as well. You got me doing too many things at one time. You mind doing this?
I don't know how to do this.
Oh my God, Christian, help me! I need help.
I'll do it. I'll write down a random number.
You're writing down numbers. Thank you, Christian. You're amazing.
How can you send it to us?
Okay. And what do you want me to do with the random number?
I need you to select.
Whoa! No!
I know. I can't. It's hard to do this, isn't it?
Can you message either Chris or myself on Facebook so we know what number we're looking for?
I'll message you on the Skype conversation.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, from 1 to 104, you say?
We so we have 106 viewers right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So give me 1 second. I'm going to give you. Hold on. Let's see. How can I do this? What a mess.
No, he can send us the number and then you can assign a range.
Okay. How about that? We'll assign a range.
Okay.
Now his message isn't going to pop up on his screen, will it?
It shouldn't.
No, it won't.
Okay.
Number sent.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So between a number between 40 and 60. A number between 40 and 60. So in the comment section, give us between 40 and 60. A number between 40 and 60. And by the way, if you live outside the United States, we will pay the first $5 in shipping. You will pay the rest for the Funko Pop, but the Funko Pop is absolutely free. So win a glow-in-the-dark Sylvie from Walmart. She's great. I haven't even glowed her in the dark yet. We have her, and I didn't even glow her yet. How do you like that? Oh, my God, there's so many numbers. Hold on. Let's see. What do we got here?
No, nothing.
Nothing so far. Come on. Got to have a winner soon. So, Christian, while we're sitting here and waiting, let us know some of the newer features of PPG. Name off like a couple of things that we should be, a couple of things we should know about right now about PPG. Maybe some things that we don't know about yet.
Okay, so things I'm excited about is adding new price points. I always want to add new price points. I mentioned $7 a pop. I mentioned pristine auctions. We're getting prices from heritage auctions. So those are interesting because they round up the picture. We've also found a way to do best offers. That's probably a very big one. When eBay changed its API and didn't show anymore how much something sold for when there was a best offer, that became a problem for higher value pops. When you see, my favorite example is there's a Godzilla that was officially sold. eBay reported as sold for $20,000. The best offer was accepted, and the best offer I think was 16.
Wow.
So we can now put in best offers, and that's going to be that's just a great thing because it gets more price points for items that don't have enough price points in place.
Sure.
So a lot about price points. That's one thing. The other thing is the list that I showed you earlier. We launched last week a transfer in list, which you can put items that you have bought but haven't received yet. You don't want to show in your showcase. You mark them as private, but it's a list for you to control because I think we all bought something and then forgot about it and bought it again. So that's for that. I'm excited about trading. I think that's going to be super, super cool to start trading and get to know people, because that's what collecting was always about. Collecting was always about talking to other people and giving over items and getting them to know. And trading will do that. It's much nicer than a purchase, because you actually have to come up with a deal.
Sure.
And you really get to know the other person during that, particularly if you do it more often. So excited about that. I think we want to do more on mobile. We've done a lot of work in performance, making the site faster. Adding so much data every day. Our users now own 42 million items with just roughly about $1.5 billion.
Wow.
And we're adding 3,000 price points a day. We're adding, 600-700 new database items every day. So there's so much new stuff coming in. We really needed to spend a month or two working on performance and getting that right.
Amazing. Are you noticing the user base for PPG Hobbydb growing pretty?
Yes,
rapidly?
we're now up to 575,000.
Wow, that's a lot of people in there, Heather. Holy crap, that's a lot of people. That's unbelievable.
Nuts.
And one of the things I really like is, I don't give that enough justice normally, it's the member directory. I think that's going to be really, really awesome. You will be able to go in here and say, I want to find people that like Funko. And you may have noticed you can now put in your location. So you can put in, for example, I'm in Boulder, Colorado. I can put in Colorado, I can put the US, I can put Boulder, Colorado, US in. Going forward, you will be able to say, I want to see people that like Funko, that like to trade. You can see sellers already here that like to trade, and that are in my area. Let's say in Denver, so you can meet up and talk. Scott Braun is one of is a moderator of our Facebook group. He does a meetup in Arizona. And we started promoting it, and we like to do more of that. And in future, I like him to be able to send a message to everybody who's given their address. It's private. You don't have to give your address. But if you say, I am in Arizona and I like Funko and I'm willing to get invitations, well, then Scott can invite you to his hangout. Saying, hey, cool. We're meeting up, in this town on this day. We're going to do some trading. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Do you want to come? I think it's just going to be nice. We'd like to do a lot of physical stuff as well, and this would allow that to happen.
That's great. PPG connecting the community, Heather. It's amazing.
I love it.
And Christian Braun is from Colorado. With his accent, I honest to God thought he was from New York. I really did. I'm shocked. I'm shocked over this. I really am.
I'm German. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That was the joke.
Okay, well, I'm German. You can't do that.
So we do have a winner, by the way, for the Funko Pop for Sylvie. Heather, do you want to name the winner?
Yes! Congratulations, Sebastian Scott. You won with number 53. Nobody was guessing 53 for the longest time. And you did it, Sebastian. You win.
Congratulations, buddy. We're happy.
Send us your address
via Instagram or gastlecast@gmail.com,
yes.
Please. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, this is great, Christian. And let's have you back on again sooner than I think it's been like 2 years since you were on last.
You know where I live.
I do. I sure do. And I think we should do this more often. Maybe.
You see, what we can do is going forward, once you open your studio and you have visitors there,
yes.
you can talk about saying, hey, on Sunday we have a live. Do you want to come and sit here?
That'd be amazing. One of these days, I hope we can have a big enough studio where we do that. Right now, we're a little cramped, but we're going to do that one day. I can promise you that. But for sure, seriously, we should talk about every couple of months having you on live and having you tell us a lot of the new things that are going on, and maybe have us help you grow this ongoing community, this great community.
Yeah, and then if I can just make a closing statement. So if
Absolutely.
you haven't joined, please join. If you don't like something, or if you think we can do something better, let us know. You saw earlier we have a very long list of features yet to come, and almost every one of them comes from somebody who said, hey, why don't you do this? And if you want to join the squad, let us know. And if you want to own part of Hobbydb, the Scott members do all the work. So I want them to, as I said, I want 100,000 people that build the site and own it. And that would make us effectively in fact, we're already a public company. We have to file with the SEC to do the investment rounds that we do. This is our third one. And I want to be a proper public company that's owned by its users.
Well, there you go. And so we've given you several times in this live, if you haven't caught it, how to join the team, how to be a part of this great community. Highly recommend that you do. And I highly recommend that you go on to PPG Hobbydb and learn it, so when your friends are asking or telling you that they're having a hard time with it, you can tell them how easy it is. Because a lot of people talk about how complicated it is. That's what we hear the most. In fact, our video from way back when was us bitching about that. But truthfully, if you get on there, you can learn how to use it like instantly. And not only that, but you get a great app at your fingertips. It's nothing like Funko App. Funko App, in my opinion, looks pretty, but is garbage. PPG is the way to be, and that's what you want to add your collection to. Highly recommend. But yeah, Christian, I would love to have you back maybe in a couple of months. Let's try to keep it like on the schedule, and we do it. Have you back. We'll talk about some other things. We'll just I want to work together more often, and I think that's what we should stick to that for real.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Christian, thank you so much for your time. We're gonna talk to our folks here, and then we're gonna close out ourselves.
All right. Great. Thanks. Bye.
Christian, take care, buddy.
Christian.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye, Heather.
Bye.
All right. So that was Christian Braun of Hobbydb
He's still up
/PPG.
there.
Oh my God, he's still there.
I think he's me. Look.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
It's me, Christian.
Yeah,
from
that's right.
PPG. Oh. Never mind.
Hello.
It's just me.
Yeah. So guys, that was
I
awesome.
fooled you.
That was great. Really love Christian. He's full of so many good bits of information. Gives us a lot of data. We can take our headphones off now.
Oh,
gives
thank
us a lot of really great data. Answers all the questions. I feel like he answers them magnificently. Just a really well-spoken guy. Really smart. I mean, he talks about a lot of this stuff, and it's he has so much knowledge up in his noggin, man. I know I couldn't keep it together as well as he does and give you that great amount of information. Great guy. Lovely to have him back. And as we mentioned earlier in the stream, way back when we kind of like talked crap about PPG, he like came onto the video. He commented basically saying, hey, give me a chance. PPG is great and I'm behind it. And I would love to go on and talk to you live about it. And it was sort of that was like our very like first trash video, maybe. It was like one of the first. But it led into a great friendship and a great relationship between all of us. So awesome. Love having him on, and we'll do that again very soon. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. In terms of the Gastlecast, per usual, we're going to have new videos for you every day of the week. That's what we do best. Wow, this week's going to be crazy. I'm going to a hockey game, my very first hockey game on Tuesday. So I'm going to have to make sure that my video is prepped and ready by Tuesday evening when I leave. I'm going to Capital One Arena to see a hockey game with my dad. And I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, apparently it's like really nice box seats and they offer food and all sorts of stuff. It's going to be really cool. I'm not a fan personally of hockey or anything. I'm not a sports guy, but I've heard so many good things. It'll probably most likely be fun for that. Just for that reason, having a good time. Lee did a similar thing when collecting plastic, talk trash about Mystery Grow. Yeah, absolutely, DH. Lee was pretty up close and personal about the whole thing. And we actually covered, I don't know if you guys know this, but last year we covered all things mystery boxes. And I feel like we did a pretty good job at that. We talked to fellow YouTubers. We talked to mystery box sellers. We even what did we do? We interviewed Lee. We did a full tour of his facility. It was really great. And to add on that, we're actually going to Poppin' Off Toys in person at the end of this month, which is going to be awesome. I don't know if you guys know that or if you're you found out through that. Did they post a video yet? Mm-mm. Okay, they're going to post a video basically showing that we're going there, announcing it, I guess. But also while we're in town or around there, Tennessee, we're going to do all sorts of fun stuff with Poppin' Off Toys and all that jazz. Then we're going to go down to Georgia, and we're going to stop over at Plastic Empire. And I was telling our patrons last night, by the way, if you're not a patron and you want to support this channel in a really big way, it's a huge help to us. We love you if you support us through Patreon or not. I promise you that. But we would love your support through Patreon. It helps grow this channel. It helps grow Mischief Toys. It just does it's a really big deal to us, is more or less. So patreon.com/Gastlecast to find out more there. I'm going to do a lot of work while we're out on the road. And instead of doing videos behind this table, we're going to do more videos. I have a couple that we're going to have for random days of us behind the table, talking about various things. But mostly we're going to do a lot of vlogging. Heather and I going to places and recording stuff, and not $7 Spot, Popping Off Toys, a tour in there. Plastic Empire, a tour there also. Talking to the guys over at Plastic Empire. It's going to be really fun. I'm going to try to do a lot of coverage and a lot of like really new things for the channel. And maybe it'll even open doorways for us for things that we'll do as we move in to the future. I want to do different things with the channel. I don't want to continue doing just behind the table. I like to go out there and do all sorts of cool stuff. DH, I will come by and meet y'all at Plastic Empire. You should also come by my parents' basement. So that'd be great. Yeah, of course. We'll come to your parents' basement. That'd be fantastic. A video at your parents' basement. That'd be amazing. I'm totally down with that. Sure. Why not? Fuck it. That would be a blast. Yeah, so in any event...
I'm scared.
Will we make it out alive, I think, is the question. But it's going to be a blast. We're going to do all sorts of fun stuff. And that's just 2 weeks away, man. I'm so excited. We're finally going to get away and do something that's outside of this house. We've been stuck here for the whole pandemic. So getting away for a little while is fantastic. I couldn't even explain to you how like happy and enthusiastic I am about this, even though I'll most likely be working the entire time. It's going to be rough. But we're also visiting where The Walking Dead, like where they filmed that. So I'm going to get a lot of footage there for those Walking Dead fans. If you're not a Walking Dead fan, you're going to see a lot of just behind the scenes sort of stuff that might be interesting to you. So it's going to be a fun trip, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Good for you, Heather.
I made it for you.
Heather just made a little picture. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Oh, thank you, Al.
Oh,
You're amazing,
thank
Al.
you, Al.
Love you, buddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Star,
that.
we heart you too.
Heather, what was she doing? She was making this little picture.
It's a Valentine.
It's a Valentine's. That's what we call it around here, Valentine's. So there it is, a little unicorn. It's neat. Use this little pencil thingy and scrape stuff away and bang. Look at that. We are on TikTok, by the way. I don't know if you guys are TikTokers. I hate to call myself that, but we're doing TikTok. It's at the Gastlecast, so go and join that as well and check us out. Follow us. Wow. Was there anything else that you wanted to add here that we didn't talk about, that we didn't say? We talked about the trip, doing vlogs while we're on the trip. What else? Anything of importance that I might have missed?
No, what's important is my bedtime that we're past.
That's okay. Listen, they're important people.
I know they're important, but almost 2
Oh,
hours.
we didn't talk about this, but the patron call last night was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot
We had a
of fun.
great time with everybody. Thank you to all of our patrons for hanging out with us and BSing with us. It was fun. We gave away a lot of stuff. I mean, I feel like we gave away like 20 to 25 items.
I don't even know.
I mean, it was unbelievable. We gave a lot of stuff away. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe like 15 to 20. But yeah, we gave away a lot of stuff. So again, Patreon, if you're interested in that, we do all sorts of fun stuff to include the live Patreon patron call monthly. And then a new Ghastly's coming. That's the last thing I did want to mention. New Ghastly's coming at the beginning of April. So April 1st is a Friday. It'll be most likely the week after when we're back from our trip. We most likely will post him up one day during that week, and we will let you know. Go over to mischieftoys.com and sign up for the newsletter. This is going to be most likely the rarest Ghastly that we do. Maybe not of like ever of all time. We might do something a little bit different in
probably.
the future, but he's pretty rare. He's going to be 150 count. And I just want to say this, and I don't want to... There's something that comes in this box that holds a very important secret. And if you happen to figure out what we're doing in this box, you are going to be involved in a part of something much bigger. And I can't really explain it outside of that, but it's a really, really big deal in terms of Mischief Toys and Ghastly and everything that we're doing. We're coming up with a lot of ways to excite you, to open doors on a way of releasing collectibles that isn't just the figure in the box, but more. And just something that's more engaging and more involved and something fun for you, the audience. I'm sort of jealous because all these ideas I come up with, I'm writing them all down. Heather and I are trying to figure out frantically how we're going to do it. And the entire time I'm like, my God, I wish I could be on the other side of this and you know, have these things drop and all these cool things happening. And I got to figure it all out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be different, like a lot different than anything you've ever seen before. Every box will hold a secret in some capacity. So I'm excited for that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that's it. That's it, I think. I'm tired. We did a lot of talking. I did a lot of talking. You had nothing else to add, Heather?
No.
We love you guys. Congratulations to Sebastian for winning the glow-in-the-dark Sylvie. Congratulations to you.
Sebastian.
Make sure you reach out to us and give us your data so we can get this mailed out to you this week. All of you patrons out there that might be here, we are going to be mailing out your items this week, so look out for those. And if you get something in the mail from us in any capacity, post it on Instagram and like tag us and stuff. We'd just love to know that you received it and that you enjoy it and it's a part of your collection. That makes us happy to see that. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support and tuning in to this and our videos. We posted a bunch of videos over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday per usual. The last 2 nights. Actually, today we posted a video earlier in the day, and last night we posted a video, I don't know, like around 7 p.m.
There is a giveaway in today's video.
Yeah, there's a giveaway in today's
check
video.
out today's video, and maybe you'll win something cool.
But both videos are a lot of fun. I highly recommend you go and check them out. I think you'll have a good laugh out of each and every single one. Okay? Thank you guys. We love you so very much. Remember, as always, we are together. Yes, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.